picturesque Mediterranean island of Corsica plays host to round 14 of the World Rally Championship, the Rally de France. The sleepy hilltop villages are linked by perilous roads that snake their way around the island, often with a sheer drop on one side. It's these routes that make up this rally of 10,000 corners. With so many bends to negotiate at average speeds of up to 100 kilometers an hour, mistakes are easy to make, as Stefan Sarazan found out on day one. His teammate Chris Atkinson is still a novice on tarmac events, and he too was caught out. Clutch failure would later end the Australian's day.
This is not the way to get tarmac experience, that's for sure.
There was bad news too for forward-bound Marcus Gronholm. Peugeot began the event 22 points behind Citroën in the Manufacturers' Championship, but with Gronholm running second, the 307's transmission problems returned, and with the car immobilised after the final stage, the Finns' rally was over.
Next plane to Helsinki. Ask him. I'm stupid, but not that stupid. We have a gearbox, it's blocked, so we cannot move, I think.
The Finnish crew consoled themselves by sharing a beer with the local fans. With Marco Martin's replacement Nicola Bernardi struggling down in 14th, this could be the end of Peugeot's challenge. If they score 14 points less than Citroën, the championship will again go to their French rivals. Bernardi isn't the only local driver off the pace. Two-time Corsica winner Gilles Panizzi suffered suspension problems in his Mitsubishi Lancer and dropped to 17th by the end of the day.
They can move everywhere. Impossible. Impossible.
There's better news for Skoda's local expert Alex Bengay. He's in the point-scoring places in 8th. Tony Gardemeister is performing well in the car that won in Corsica last season, with Martin behind the wheel. The Finn is occupying the final podium place coming into day 2.
Stop.
And one position ahead is Belgian Francois Duval, who's again playing the perfect supporting role to Sébastien Loeb. And it's the world champion who has been the dominant force on day 1. With the title secured, the Frenchman is free to push on to claim his first victory at his home event. And with all 4 stage wins yesterday, he's on course to do exactly that. Loeb's advantage over his teammate is 41.3 seconds, with Gardemeister another 16.4 further back. Peter Solberg is 4th. The island of Corsica has been the host of the Rally of France since 1956. The service park is based in the city of Ajaccio, and the action takes place in the surrounding mountains. Another 4 stages today and 125 competitive kilometres. And the first stage today is the longest of the weekend.
Tony, the big question, can you match the pace of the Citroëns today?
We will see, okay, we try to go fast. We try to push a little bit, but we heard this stage will be very slippy, a lot of gravel and everything there, and should be very careful, but we try to push.
Although the rally leader already seems to be disappearing over the horizon, there is still plenty to fight for behind the world champion. Tony Gardemeister has his sights on the second place of Francois Duval. Oh, but a bit of a slide there for the Finn. The Belgian is next on stage, and he loves these twisty tarmac roads. As Gardemeister said earlier, some parts of this stage are very slippery, and Duval too slides his way through that puddle. Gardemeister began the stage 16.4 seconds behind his rival. He's approaching the 18.2 kilometer split time. 13 minutes and 9 seconds so far. Back to Duval, who came very close to winning here last year when driving for Ford. Okay, how will he compare to Gardemeister? It's going to be fast. Yes, 8 seconds up on the fin so far. Not a great start then for Ford's number one. Still a few kilometres to go though on this long stage, so he does have time to respond. This is the 31-kilometre mark. And that's still a good time. It's the quickest through to this point so far. Francois will be aware of Gardemeister's pace. He's receiving the split times, remember, inside the car. Whoa, but look at this. The Belgian has lost a lot of time somewhere, and he seems to be driving very cautiously here. Oh dear, 14.3 seconds down now. Gardemeister has made it to the end of the stage, but has he done enough to better Duval? Well, the Belgian is clearly having problems. Just take a look at his face. He may have a brake problem as he's tiptoeing around these last few corners. He had 16.4 seconds in hand before the stage, and even with that advantage, his position is definitely under threat here. Yes, nearly 26 seconds slower, and Duval has lost second position.
Francois, between the split of 26 and 31 k's, you lost time. You've actually now lost second. What happened?
Yes, it's no brakes. 15 kilometers before the start, no brakes, only the on brakes. It's difficult some many moments. It's bad luck.
Brakes? Yeah, brakes.
Behind that battle for the runner-up spot, Ford driver Danny Sola has started day 2 with something to prove. The Spanish driver is chasing Stefan Sarazan's 5th place, and he sets the 4th quickest time on stage 5. His French rival, though, is no slouch on tarmac. The former Formula One driver knows all about choosing the perfect racing line as he makes his way through this tricky series of corners. He's 5th fastest on this stage, but his advantage ahead of Sola is now down to 2.5 seconds. Armin Schwartz's miserable season has continued in Corsica. He's already languishing down in 13th, and now the German has differential problems which are putting excess wear on the tyres. A lot of vibration here, and look at that, front left tyre is disintegrating, and he's not reached the end of the stage yet.
The car is understeering like hell. For that the tire wear is that big, you know. It has nothing to do with the tire. There's something totally wrong on the car, you know.
The problem is so severe, Armin is forced to pull out of the rally. Oblivious to the trials and tribulations of those behind and continuing on his serene progress is world champion Sébastien Loeb. These twisty mountain stages that so many drivers find very difficult are made to look easy by the Frenchman here. He continues his 100% fastest time record, quickest once again on stage 5. The Frenchman ahead now by over a minute, and his teammate Duval has slipped to 3rd following his brake problems, while Danny Sola is closing on the 5th position of Sarazan. Gigi Gali is Mitsubishi's leading driver, but the Italian is not nominated to score manufacturer points. Harry Rovanpera is, but he's down in 12th. Duval's got problems and still has a stage to go before the next service. The 26 kilometres of the Ucciani stage await before the crews head back to Ajaccio for the lunchtime service. And so far today, it's been a good performance from Danny Sola. The Spaniard only has a limited programme with Ford this season, so he needs to impress with every outing he has. He continues his pursuit of Stefan Sarazan. Oh no, at such high speeds, any slip of concentration will be severely punished, as Danny has just found out. Straight on at that corner, and that's the end of his challenge for points, and another disappointing finish after a promising run. Sola's mistake has eased the pressure on Stefan Sarazan. The Frenchman, too, is keen to impress his employers at Subaru. He may well be retained by the team, though, for his tarmac expertise that he's displaying so emphatically this weekend. It's another good time from Stefan. Sarazan's teammate Peter Solberg is next on stage. The Norwegian is a previous winner in Corsica with a rain-assisted victory in 2003. Considering the dry conditions that are normally such a disadvantage to the Pirelli runners, this has been a good performance so far.
6 left minus arm long, tightens 1 plus, don't cut, tightens. 2 right minus arm long.
Great commitment from Petter through these relentless corners. It's exciting stuff from the former world champion, and he's 0.6 of a second quicker than Sarazan.
Hairpin right. Opens arm long, tightens, don't cut. Early 5 left plus, 14.
Ahead of the two Subarus, Ford's number 1, Tony Gardemeister, has taken over the runner-up spot after Francois Duval's brake problems.
Miinus 2 Petteri, pyöree vasen K-kirraa, jatkuu oikein K sisältä.
The Finn already has 2 second-place finishes to his name this season in Monte Carlo and Greece. And just look how hard he's pushing on this tricky uphill section, carefully picking the quickest line. Tony is the fastest driver through so far and will hope it's enough to keep Duval behind. The Belgian lost nearly half a minute with his ailing brakes on the previous stage. The constant cornering is very hard on the brakes, and with Duval's particularly aggressive driving style, they've really taken a pounding here. And the problem is persisting. Look how cautiously he's driving through here. Nearly a minute is lost, and Francois falls another 2 places on the leaderboard. So with Duval's brakes failing, Loeb could be concerned that his Zara may suffer the same problem. Sebastian, though, has a smoother driving style, and he's able to conserve his brakes. He's certainly not backing off, though. This is now 6 stage wins out of 6. After Armin Schwartz's retirement, Skoda's hopes rest solely on the shoulders of Alex Bengay. And he's doing a good job so far, up to 7th following Sola's retirement. No sign of an increase in pace, though, for Harry Rovanperä. The Finn hasn't set a top 10 stage time all weekend, but is still in line to score a manufacturer's point despite his lowly 11th position. Although, with local expert Nicola Bernardi just 1.4 seconds behind, there could still be a fight on for that final championship point. Loeb's looking increasingly untouchable, but his teammate Duval has fallen 3 positions over the last 2 stages. Solberg moves into the final podium place. Francois Duval has made it back to the service park in Ajaccio, and the team have got straight to work on those troublesome brakes. The Belgian, meanwhile, is already planning his fight back.
I lost the front brakes after 15 kilometers, and I continue with the on brake. The same for the last stage. I lost some 1 minute and 30 seconds. It's quite a lot. Now I try to come back on the podium.
Alongside, there's a bit of a scramble around Sebastian Loeb's Zara. They've made a last-minute change of plan with the tyre choice. There are clouds over the nearby mountains, but the team is still not sure if rain is expected.
Now I hope
the weather will be okay this afternoon. It was difficult. We are not sure, and we had to choose some slick tires. So I hope it will not rain.
How difficult is it to make the tyre choice even though it's not raining? Still difficult?
Like we saw yesterday already that it's quite difficult even it was dry, you know. I make a little bit wrong tire choice, a bit slightly too soft tire I take, and you know it's always quite difficult, but it helps for sure when it's full dry.
Back to the action this afternoon and the second run through the 36-kilometre Vico test. Subaru were hoping this rally would be an opportunity for Stefan Sarrazin to shine, and he's certainly living up to expectations. He's up to fourth, but with Francois Duval's brakes back in working order, he may find that position coming under threat.
Et frein gauche 2 ferme à l'église, frein gauche 4 courts ferme et frein gauche 2 ferme à l'église. Sur droite à fond, sur gauche 3 ferme, gauche 3 ferme, sur droite 2 ferme et 3. 3 ferme, 2 ferme et 3. 30 mètres.
After 18.2 kilometres though, that's the fastest time so far. The leak that caused Duval's brake problems earlier was frustrating, but he may still have enough speed to make up the lost time.
Intermédiaire, 50, on est moins 9 sur Solberg, 50, gauche 70, en frein pour gauche 60, ferme fort, pas extérieur.
It's the Belgians' turn to pass through the same split.
En frein piège pour long droite 40 et 3 sur pont. Long droite 40 et 3 sur pont.
Well, he's already made up 9.7 seconds on Sarrazin, and with a deficit of 18.6 to recover, he's on target to challenge the Frenchman. Sarrazin finished 6th here last year in a privately entered Impreza, and it was the 2004 tarmac events that brought the former circuit racer to the attention of the rally world. He's yet to find his feet on gravel rallies, but on tarmac, Stefan is right on the pace despite his limited experience in rallying. The stage is cleared with another good time from the Subaru driver.
Stefan at 22 kg, you were 13 seconds slower than Francois Duval.
Yeah, I give my maximum. It's not possible to go faster at the moment for me. So I slide everywhere, and what can I do? Nothing.
Well, Stefan thinks he's given his all then, but Duval has certainly put those brake problems behind him, and he's flying through the latter part of this stage. He's definitely going to be quicker than Sarrazin, but has he done enough to pass him? It's going to be close. Yes, he's done it. 19.7 seconds faster, and he's 1.1 ahead overall.
Francois, fantastic stage time. That's put you up to 4th place.
Yes, it's a good time. Now with the brakes it's more easy.
Duval's teammate, meanwhile, is displaying exactly why he's retained the Drivers' Championship this season. Sebastian Loeb is simply in a different class, with no one even coming close to matching his speed and consistency. The Citroën driver continues his clean sweep of stage wins. Meanwhile, Alex Bengay is on course for his best finish since joining Skoda after disappointing results on his first 2 outings with the Czech team. The Frenchman loses the position to Chevy Ponsto on stage 7 and drops to 8th. Marco Martin's replacement Nicola Bernardi is steadily improving today. He passes Rovanperä for 11th and the chance of claiming a manufacturer's point. Mitsubishi's number 1 is not at his best on tarmac, and with all the Lancers suffering centre differential problems, it's affecting traction and the steering. It's turning into a weekend to forget for the Japanese manufacturer. So Duval is making a move after his earlier problems and will now look to overhaul the half-a-minute gap to Petter Solberg in third. Further back, Pons has passed Bengay for seventh. Francois Duval's on a charge. One more stage to come after the break. The rain clouds are still hovering ominously in Corsica, but for now the roads remain dry. Nicola Bernardi has steadily improved on his competitive debut in the Peugeot 307. He's fourth fastest on stage 8 and now into the top 10. Compatriot Alex Bengay is also moving in the right direction. The Skoda driver has squeezed ahead again in a battle for seventh with Chevy Ponce. Ford's second nominated driver, Roman Cresta, has had a steady rally on his favourite surface. He's in a secure sixth place. Francois Duval has begun his fight back after his brake problems this morning.
Sur pièce, droite 70 ferme, pas extérieur, léger corde. 50. Oh là là, 50 frein pour gauche 60 ferme corde. Gauche 60 ferme corde. Sur droite 70 ouvre. Sur droite 70 ouvre. Sur sommet milieu.
The Belgian has already passed Sarazan and is now pushing on for Petter Solberg's third position.
Sur gauche 40 ferme. Sur gauche 40 ferme, pas extérieur, rail gravier. Et frein. Pour droite 40 corde, rail gravier.
Subaru's number one has half a minute in hand on the Citroën driver, but he knows Duval is one of the best in the business on these stages.
Hairpin right, double tightens. Opens out long. 30, line into hairpin left. Opens 50. We have 0 with Duval. Line into
Phil Mills keeping the Norwegian advised of their progress compared to Duval, and they're keeping him behind for now. Solberg remains third overnight.
Shot for left.
With Gronholm already signed by Ford for next season, Tony Gardemeister's future with the team is now less secure. But his performance so far in Corsica is reminding the Blue Oval of his ability.
Pitkä vasen täys miinus usko. Vasen täys 8. Vai oikein koopus kirraa ehkä vähän liukas 5.
The Finn is third fastest on the final stage of the day and retains his lead ahead of Solberg. He's also in pole position to take advantage should Loeb suffer problems.
Vasen lyhyt sumpu ja vasen täys.
That possibility, of course, is extremely unlikely. The world champion hasn't missed a beat all weekend, and the Zara has, per usual, run faultlessly. Oh, a close call with a cow there, but Loeb is still on track for another milestone at his home event to win every stage in a rally. Loeb has a huge lead of a minute and a half ahead of Gardemeister, and his teammate Duval has just under 25 seconds to make up on Solberg to get back on the podium. Bernardi is on course to score one manufacturer's point for Peugeot, and Rovanperä is Mitsubishi's leading nominated driver in 11th.
Petter, you came here saying you wanted a podium, and it's looking very good now.
Yeah, it's still many stages to go tomorrow, and Duval is on the case. So you have to be very careful, I think. We lost a little bit too much on the last stage now. We were actually in front of him on the halfway, but I got problem with the brakes, so I lost a little bit too much.
Where do you feel this new performance and confidence has come from?
It's not actually confidence, it's just pure performance of the car.
What about tomorrow? Do you think you can hold on to it? Because Petter Solberg's going to want second place too.
Yeah, I think he won and Francois won, but you know, I think we could keep the place. I think it should be quite easy, but we will see tomorrow.
Is it your mission to win every single stage here in France?
It's not my mission. At the moment, it's a solution to keep the concentration and to stay in the rhythm, because especially on tarmac, when you lose the rhythm, it's very difficult. For me, it's very difficult to drive and to stay concentrated. And now I have I stay in a good rhythm. I feel well in the car, and so I didn't take some risk today. And okay, I will see that tomorrow.
A disappointing day for some here in Corsica, but Sebastian Loeb is putting on a champion's display and has just 4 stages to negotiate to claim his 9th win of the season.
Right pass, opens extra long.
And you can follow all the news and results on WRC.com.